Time to check in with our lizard overlords. What are they up to? Well, this.
Is this the worst hour now?
Are we done our first hour?
Yeah, we're into our worst hour now.
Keep your expectations of this episode low. Starting the worst hour now, I feel like we've crossed into maybe not great content hour.
Welcome to our worst hour.
We got a price going out tomorrow for I think it's a 900 square meter wall. Like, she's a big wall. Jack's working on it right now. We'll see how that goes. They only spec'd the material 2 days ago.
What's the material?
MCon block. Big, like the same, those waterfront walls that we did.
Yeah.
But it's so high, like, I hope Jack priced into like some sort of fucking restraint system. Because there's no way you're working at the edge of this fucking wall without.
So I have a great story about that.
Give her.
We're working at Jack priced a wall for us that's 4 meters high.
Mm-hmm.
And technically after 3 feet, you have to be tied off or whatever. And they're big blocks. So like you're basically getting tied off right at the start. And so that you have to bury these dead men, these 12-foot pressure treated wood logs behind, and then tie a rope to them. And then you have to hook onto those. And you have to put up this, on every layer, you have to install a railing system that Jack found that goes across the front of it. And you have to keep installing this railing as you go up the wall. You have to take it off and install it, take it off, put it on, put it back, be tied off to this log. All of this, when he was telling me about it, I was like, I don't want anything to do with this wall.
But whenever you worked at Lake Ridge, you say you took the jobs that nobody else wanted because there was good money in it?
Yeah. But I just
Well,
was
that's
like,
one of the jobs nobody else wants.
I was like, I don't want anything to do with this wall, right? He said, okay. But it's a good GC we do a lot of work for. So I said, we got to put a number on it. Just put it up. Like there's other people bidding it and ours will just get lost in the mix. So just just to buy this railing stuff, like this is just to buy the railing for this wall. The amount of railing we need is $18,000 and you can't rent it anywhere. So I'm like, right off the hop, I'm investing $18,000 right off the hop from some railing manufacturer that is not going to give me any credit. So I got to buy 18 grand worth of fucking railing to start building this fucking wall. And I got to pay cash for it because I don't have credit at the railing place. Maybe you do. Maybe you buy a lot of fucking railing. I don't have a railing account. I don't have a railing supplier that I use normally. So I'm like, okay. Anyways, so Jack prices it. I look at it. I'm like, yeah, this is not outrageously high, but it's definitely won't be the low bid because someone's going to minimize all this railing bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
and
sure.
then today Jack called me. Hey, man, remember that job with the railing? I'm like, oh my God. Like, really? He's like, yeah, they want us to have another look at it. Do you want to have a look at it, maybe see if there's some savings anywhere? No, I don't. Like, I still don't want to do this job.
You say railing supplied and installed by GC.
Yeah, railings supplied by, we'll install them. You supply them. Even the guys, I was talking to them about it, and our guys are like, yeah, I kind of feel like I'd rather be laid off
Yeah.
than endlessly burying a fucking 12-foot 6x6 and tying a rope to it. So and I'm just looking at Jack's telling me what they want us to do. I'm like, what? So that when you fall off the wall, a 6x6 can land on your fucking head? How buried does this thing have to be to not pull out of the ground and come over the wall with you and then fucking land on you? Hey, you know that 6x6 we buried in the sand that's been absorbing water for 2 months? Yeah, that just landed on my skull because I fell off the wall and the rope dragged it over the fucking wall. Oh wait, no, the wood caught on the railing because I was working in the opening, so it saved me. Now I'm hanging off the wall upside down.
Yeah, great. Exactly what you need in your life.
I built lots of tall retaining walls with no fucking railings, no fucking shit.
Yeah,
What
we do.
irritates me about all of this shit is some guy owns a shit company, has uncertified swing stages, and lets 15 guys go up on a 4-man swing stage that breaks open and they all die except the last guy because he landed on all the other dead bodies on Christmas Eve 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So now all of us are going through this shit
Hmm.
because that's what started all this shit, that accident, which is a bad accident and ridiculous. But before that, I'd have to like go to working at Heights every 2 fucking years. And I'm like, so this idiot that owned this company, punish that dude. I know he's in jail probably still or something, but I'm like, fucking, I don't know. Make that. Why am I dealing with all? I'm not a fucking moron. I don't send people like 15 guys on a 4-man swing stage, 30 stories up or whatever the fuck these people were doing.
True. But now the worker takes, from what the working at Heights guy told us, the worker takes much more responsibility for themselves too. So it's not just the boss's fault now. Every time a worker puts himself in danger, puts someone else in danger, they're more responsible than the boss.
That seems fair.
Yeah, I think that's way fair. I never ask anybody to do anything dangerous. I said, if you don't feel safe, we're not doing that. We'll find a different way to do it, whatever. But at the same time, not everything is the boss's fault. If I wasn't on site, shit can't be my fault.
Well, ultimately, as the owner of the company, everything will always be your
Yes,
fault.
I understand that somehow.
I
I guess.
understand the point you're making too, though, that like if I'm not there and these guys decide to start swinging each other around to make YouTube videos on the fucking excavator, wow, 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 and they fly off and land in the road and get run over by a truck. I mean, you could say that I didn't train them well, but I think there's like, I'm sure, yeah, you bear some responsibility, but it's like they gotta own some of it too, because that's actually absolute stupidity that was unauthorized.
Yeah, the working at Heights guy is like, it's not the boss's fault anymore. It's your own fault for being fucking morons.
Hmm.
So, which I think is great, but that still doesn't stop us from having to do working at Heights every 3 years.
What's the stupidest thing you guys have done that could have caused an injury?
I
Yeah.
rode, um, I rode a demolished deck off the back of the top of a triaxle in a backhoe bucket, using myself as the counterweight to hold the deck in the bucket, which really is not that bad, but still pretty fucked up. Chad, this deck won't stay in the bucket unless you stand on it out of the top of the triaxle. Okay. Fuck me. Like I probably wouldn't have died, but could you got that's I don't know, 13-foot fall.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know what the. I've done a lot of like weird trenching things in the ground before
Oh
people
fuck,
were into
that's terrifying.
before people were into shoring. Like I grew up
No,
before there was a lot of shoring.
I would never
You
know.
know, like I
Have you
did.
seen those videos of like the guy with like a long stick boom and it's fucking like 20 feet in the ground and he's lowering some little brown guy into the bottom of a hole and something and he's just like all you see, you can barely see him, he's in the fucking hole. I'm like, this is what nightmares are made of. No way. And the trench is like fucking bucket width all the way 20 feet down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, it's like a tomb. I'm like, nobody with half a brain would be in there.
yeah. I've done some of that kind of stuff, but
Oh,
that was because we didn't know better. Like I think the probably the one of the I've done some really bad stuff, but one of the most scary things I did was one time we were doing new chlorine pipe lines at we were doing new steam pipelines, but all the chlorine pipelines were there at a water treatment plant. And all the new steam pipelines showed up on a truck, but it was like during an ice storm. And they were like, climb up there and start undoing the straps and hook the chains to get the pipes off. And I mean, I'm fat and unstable and not really good with heights to begin with, but it was like right around the time when I was like living in the parking lot and had no money. I was like, I guess I'm doing this, bitches. And the pipes like looked like they were gonna roll off the sides of the transport because they were on like 54-foot flat deck. And I'm like, I'm gonna get rolled up in these pipes and fucking ice everywhere. It was crazy. That's I probably one of the times I was the most uncomfortable with what I was doing because I was like, I am fat and gravity is not my friend, and I am up on top of this trans. It was because like at that
I'm
point in my
not wearing
life,
my watch to let Kelly know if I fall.
this was pre. I might have known Kelly when I was doing that, but it was like I had worked from when I was 14 or whatever till I think I split up with Paisley's mom. I was 34. So I had just finished owning my own, like I had owned my own company, and I had ended up going back to try and like just have a steady job and try to get like 50% custody of P because I think I would get that if I was working 80, 90 hours a week. So I was, but when I went back, I kind of ended up in this, when you've been doing something a long time in the same place, you're in charge of things. You're like the boss, right? Or like you're the foreman. But then I ended up sort of like regressing down to like when I first started. They're like, climb up there and do that. And I'm like, fuck. When I was like 18, I would have said, cool, man. Because I wouldn't have understood how many horrible things could happen to me climbing up there.
Yeah.
But that whole year that I did things, it was a bunch like shit I would not have been doing. Like it just was shit I wouldn't have been doing. I just whatever. But I didn't have a choice, so I did it because that's what my kid needed for me to. My kid needed me to be up on those pipes, fucking balancing around, trying to get them off the fucking truck.
My years and years ago, we did a job. It was like at some like chemical plant or something like that, and the GC had hired us because there were these big slabs, and this was before like vacuums were like the new thing, right? You had to put the big pavers in with the vacuum. They originally had another landscaper, but he didn't have a vacuum. He's like, I'm not doing big fucking slabs. Hire someone else. So they called us. They're like, do you have a vacuum? Yeah, we got a vacuum. Can you come put these slabs in? Sure. So we go to the site, have a meeting, whatever. I'm like, what's this for? He's like, oh, well, the owner of this company, him and his son died in an explosion whenever they were in some tank cleaning it, and this was like the memorial for them or whatever. Like, fucking great. Okay. Like, so it was this widow who was putting like a memorial outside the business for her husband and her kid. And I'll never forget the job because we didn't have a fucking string line to line up to square up these big slabs with the existing pergola or whatever. So we used a fucking extension cord. Like just laid it out straight. I'm like, that looks good. And step back further. Yeah, it's still good. Like, fuck. What a fucking Mickey Mouse company. We have a vacuum lifter, but we don't have a fucking string line.
Couldn't you have
Like,
gone and bought a string line?
yeah, but the job was far away from everything. It was like an hour away uh from any sort of fucking hardware store or whatever. So we used an extension cord. Looks good to me.
Perfect.
The funny thing is, next day the guy's like, I don't know if there's a square. I'm like, oh, it's square. I checked it. Didn't tell him I use an extension cord.
This is square as shit. I fucking
Yeah, square's gonna get. Who's gonna complain? The dead guy?
I guess.
No,
I
no.
At one time when I was young, we were doing a planting. I mean, maybe we talked about this on this podcast before too. We were doing this planting job, and I was ripping through this field in a pickup truck, and there was a T-bar that was half stuck in the ground, and it went into the floor of the truck, and it came up right inside the middle, like right up the side of my leg, and it ripped
Oh,
through the floor of the truck, and it was like my pants were ripped, and my leg was all like the side of my leg towards the door was all like rashed and cut, sort of. But I'm like, man, if that had come up like 3 inches over, it would have gone right through my balls. Like,
Ah,
I
yikes.
remember like the trucks were so shitty at that company. I was like, huh, wow, the whole floor is ripped out of this. Oh well, so I put it in reverse and backed up so that the fucking T-bar came out of the floor and just went another way. Never even mentioned it.
Went another way.
It's just like, I guess we better
Um,
watch for T-bars here in the bushes. Like,
um, one of my workers, Gord, he used to work at a company called Terra Decor. They're from Quebec or something like that. And anyway, he one day he was he was the only English guy on the crew, everyone else French. And one day they were planting trees, but it was like a memorial tree for someone who had died. And the woman asked to put the ashes under the root ball of the tree, right? So they dug the hole and put the tree in after putting the ashes in. But the tree was way fucking high. Like they put this tree in, but it was fucking way high. But the ashes were already dumped in the fucking bottom of it. So
oh my
they're
god,
like, we gotta dig this tree deeper, and the fucking ashes were the first. Just like they shoveled them out of
oh
the
my,
hole, dug the fucking tree down, put the ashes back around. They're like, quick, do it before she sees.
oh my god.
So
I remember when I was a kid, I used to have a single axle flatbed with a crane. That was the truck I drove everywhere. And there was like in Ajax, there's a walking trail and there's a bunch of those memorial trees. And one of the contracts back in the day was to replace these trees when they died. And I couldn't find them. And I would go down there and I'd be like, I don't know where these trees are, man. I'm looking at this map. They're not here. And I went down like 5 times to replace these trees, and the fucking families were freaking out. I was like, again, I don't know where they are. Can someone come and show me? And then no one could find them. And then the families couldn't find them. I was like, oh my God. Because you can't just plant it in a different spot, right? It's supposed to have a plaque and the whole fucking.
we uh we used to have a bunch of those bronze plaques. All they were stuck to rocks in the fucking main park of the city or whatever. Someone stole them all. They like some crackhead wanted to sell them for steel or whatever. Like all gone. Fucking the whole city. Clean them right out. So now we have no more plaques or anything.
They cleaned out the plaques in Cornwall.
Yeah, nothing left.
This is the plaque of our first distribution center.
Yeah,
Back in back
whatever.
in the 1800s, we built this distribution center to distribute furs throughout the like. We were a fur trading town. What was Cornwall to start off? Like, what was the start of Cornwall?
Paper mill.
Paper mill.
Yeah, we had a big paper mill. Did you see that the meme? It's like Hudson Bay Company used to
Yeah,
own
yeah,
like 5% of the land on Earth, and now it's a
yeah.
kiosk.
It's a kiosk and a Canadian Tire or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
What a fucking fall. I hope NDL never falls that far.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you get to the point where you own 5% of the land on Earth and you don't get out while the getting's good, whatever falls after that, that's your fucking fault.
Yeah, yeah, true.
100% your issue. I had oh, my brain is so fried. I had a guy that listens to the podcast reach out to me this week and ask me about my brain's fried. I can't remember his name. He's such a nice guy too. And asked me about the air gates on the dump body bins for um the bin trucks. So I sent him a bunch of pictures and talked to him about how it worked, and it was cool. He's someone who listens to the podcast, avid listener. I got 200 phone calls today, so I don't even know if my phone will go back far enough to tell me his fucking name. Like our one of our fill sites got like shut down today by the town of Scugog or whatever, and like a township. And this is like not our fault. Like we got invited here to do a certain job. We're doing it. City shows up. Whatever. Hey, the owner brought us here to do this job, and but our guys there, and they're coming up to him and asking him all these questions, and he's like, "I don't know anything. I don't know anything." But he's got his dog with him, right? He brings his dog everywhere he goes.
Oh, is this Kyle?
Yeah, the dog is like going crazy because the dog thinks these people are threatening him or whatever. He said to them, "You guys need to get away from me. This dog is not friendly." You imagine being some people like the guy there, "Get away from me. This dog is not friendly." Guys are like, "Oh shit, okay." He called me. He's, "What should I do?" I'm like, "Fucking leave now. You are not improving the situation with your volatile dog." That is not improving the fucking situation of what's going on here. And like he's calling me about this shit. I'm standing in between the frame of the bin truck trying to hammer out this fucking thing. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like, there's got to be a better path. There has to be a better way.
Did you listen to the PK employees episode?
I did. Yeah.
What did you think of that? Did I do you dirty with any questions?
No, I thought it was nice. I thought they said nice things about me. I don't know that it was deserved, but I appreciate them saying it. I care about them too. All of them. They are we are like a fucking fucked up family of people. So yeah, I thought it was nice that they would be worried about me. I never think about that. I'm always worried about them. So yeah, they were nice. And Cody said she was terrified of me.
Yes, she did.
And I realized he was just yelling. He wasn't yelling at me.
Yeah.
He's just yelling. He's upset. He's not yelling at me. That's true.
Did I tell you guys about the guy who was stabbed? My worker who was stabbed?
Did this
No.
Oh.
Recently?
Well, it's the guy who only never made it to a full week of work.
Oh. Yeah,
Oh,
you did. Yeah.
I think we talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to talk about the whole story there, but anyway, guy got stabbed, couldn't come to work. Um, and then he was asking for another chance and stuff like that. So, um, I had to lay it out for him that I am way too busy to deal with other people's problems. And I really don't give a shit what you do on your own, like what happens on your own time. Because you're so new that I don't have a chance to care about you at all. Like it's nothing personal, but this relationship starts off shitty. And I don't have the personal I can't invest in people who start off shitty, right? So
Yeah, I agree with you.
like PK, you care about the people, and I care about my people too, right? I want them to have the best and everything and have good lives and all this stuff. But if you start coming to work or you start missing work after less than a week and it's excuse, like that's not showing me that you're someone I should care about.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't have the patience to hear about this problem and that problem and why you can't make it and all this bullshit.
So they're no
Yeah, I
longer
would
an NDL employee?
I said, you can come back Monday. The first day that you miss is your last day. They want to come back this week. I'm just like, you can't work with a fucking stab wound.
That
Because
seems fair.
I said, the last thing I need is for your problem to become an NDL problem, and then things are much worse. You know?
Yes. I think to put that in perspective, though, that most of those people that were on that interview, like, I've known them. I think Cody's the one I've known the least, and that's like 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So how long before you
Andrew,
start to care about these people? How many
I don't
years do they
know.
have to put in of service?
I don't know. I don't know if there is a. I think that if people are loyal and work hard, that I don't. I think in your position, I would definitely have the same opinion. Like these problems are not my problem.
Andrew said he knew you since he was 14 or 14 years ago.
No, since he was 14.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Andrew's been part of my life for, I guess, better part of 30 years. So that's because Andrew didn't bring it up, which maybe he is Paisley's mom's brother.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so when I met Paisley's mom, he needed a job, and I reminded him many times when he was younger that I pulled him from the Burger King, and I could fucking send him back there. I found you in a Burger King, and I can fucking send your ass back to the Burger King. Many times I remember driving by Burger Kings and trying to shove him out the door. There's a Burger King. Go make a fucking Whopper. Get the fuck away from me. Yeah. Andrew and I have go way back, like way back. And that's a family relationship. So, and he worked with me for probably till he was 30. And then he got his AZ and did a bunch of different things. And then 2 years ago, I guess now, he didn't have a job and he was laid off. He had a job, but he was laid off, and he called me, and it's nice to have him around. It's we always had a good relationship. He's a very good driver, very good driver. He has a great personality. He's fits in great with our crew. Like, he's very low key. And the one day Christy's truck battery was dead, and we were hauling snow on a Saturday, and she was like, "Oh fuck, I'll just take I'll take Andrews, but it's hooked up to the float." So we unhooked it from the float. When she got back, we were late, and she said, "Do you think he'll care if I don't hook it back up to the float?" And I was like, "Yeah, he won't care." She's like, "I feel like a total like dick. Like, he's got to come in the morning, hook the float up." I said, "Nah, he won't care." And he he came in. I was like, "Oh, Christy," she's like, "I don't care. I'll just hook the float up." But he's just kind of person that just lets everything kind of slide off his back. So he's very chill. He fits in well. Yeah, it's nice. And like Christy, obviously, we go, like, I think it's 10, 12 years we go back. Lucas, I go back 10, 12 years. He was there. He doesn't work for us anymore. He works for the town now, but um and Cody, but even some of the guys like Steve, forever. Daryl, I've known a really long time. He's only worked for us for 2 years, but I've known him like 6, 7 years, 8 years. He was the head foreman at Sitescape. So, but yeah, I don't know how long it takes to, Nate works for us. He's my son, so I care about him. He's only been around for a year. Does that matter?
Well, that's different, I think.
What about
So,
McQueen? Is that or McGarry or
McGuire?
McGuire? That's the one.
McGuire has been friends with Nate since kindergarten.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then the other one that's in the video is John at the start of the year there.
Oh, okay.
He's in some of the videos. That's Paisley's boyfriend.
Oh,
So you're
he was.
it's a family thing. Everybody.
the next generation is coming up in Paver King.
Well,
You're
John.
torpedoing the whole fucking family by bringing them
I
in.
know. I thought about, like, I got it, like, when John. So John was home with P for like 20 days before he was going home to Oregon. And so he didn't want to just sit around. So he asked us if he could come and work. And we actually needed someone to fill a spot till McGuire was done school. So I was like, "Sure, man, come in." But like in the morning, I say to Kelly, like, because the first, like, normally I, like, for years, I've been getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, going downstairs, making a coffee, having a shower, doing whatever I got to do, and going to work. And it's kind of like this, like, private time, right? It's just me. Kelly usually wakes up when I get up out of bed, but she doesn't. But then that week, there was like those 2 weeks. It was like, at first, the first couple days, Kelly got up because she wanted to make sure that the kids got up, and I would just leave for work. No, because it was their first week Well, John's first week and Nate's first, which they both got up. There was no problems. But there was one day I was standing in the kitchen and like John was making his lunch, Nate was making a lunch, Kelly was there talking to them, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening here?"
This is my time.
I was like, and then I thought about it. I said, I have now dragged all of these people. Kelly works at Paver King. Nate works at Paver King. John's working at Paver King. Nate's friend is working at Paver King. I was like, I have dragged all of these people into this like pit of fucking disaster. Like, it's like I feel like I'm like dragging them into the fucking Sarlacc pit from fucking Return of the Jedi. You know, because like when you get sucked into the Sarlacc pit, it slowly digests you for 1,000 years, which is very comparable to being a landscaper.
Yeah.
Landscaping is slowly digesting you for your lifetime. And once you like last year when Nate started, all the guys um, were like, "Oh, it's year one, you're okay." But if you come back in the spring, you're fucked. You're here, and there's no way out. And he came back in the spring, and they were like, "You're fucked." And then McGuire worked 1 week for us last year, and so then he came back, and I'm like, "Man, that 1 week counts. You're already fucked. You're screwed. You did a week, now you're back. You fucked yourself." Like,
Yikes.
yeah, we have one new guy that started that not related to anybody. Well, his dad used to run the yard when Arntz first moved to Whitby, and I was good friends with him back then. And so his dad sent me a Facebook message, said he was looking for work. So he called me, I messaged him, and anyways, he came to work for us. Chris, he seems like a nice guy, but he's like one of the. I think he sometimes feels like kind of the odd one out because we just started this week, and you got to get used to everybody. But like everyone is somehow intermixed, right? I've known Bill 10 years at least. Bill's been around for at least 10 years.
I was hoping
Steve,
Bill
10
was going to
years.
be at the Equipment Expo.
I asked them all if they wanted to go. He didn't want to come. He
Oh.
didn't know, but he did say, um, I would have come to the National Heavy Equipment Show on April 23rd and 24th at the International Center 2026. I would have come to that if they had done a better job of advertising that Zoom Lion was going to be there.
Mm.
All right. That big wall that we were just talking about with the fucking fencing and everything, I need like a bigger excavator. Like we need a bigger excavator than an 8-ton to build that wall because the blocks are like fucking huge. I was like, I'm gonna see if I can rent a Zoom Lion. I fucking love to rent a Zoom Lion.
Well, maybe you'll get your chance if you take another look at your price.
Did you
Take a
go out
hard
to
look at rent.
Did you go out to Zoomline?
I have not been out to Zoom Lion.
Oh,
We've
I
been
thought.
really busy.
Oh.
We've been real. I was supposed to go, but we've been really busy. So I am gonna message them when we're maybe not as busy or things calm down. Or
But you went to Force Field.
I did went go to Force Field. We had a great time. It was
They had
fun.
tons of fucking well-priced stuff there. I would have went.
Oh, the stuff was like the prices at the force field sale were outrageous. Like
Yeah.
I made some videos. I don't know if you guys watched them. The
Yeah.
prices were outrageous.
I would have
Like
cleaned the whole place out. My guys going around looking like they're fucking born in a barn, man, with the shit that they wear. Like it's fucking vile.
like it was, and that their stuff is such high quality and such good stuff. It is just like you were buying like heavy winter parkas, $30, high vis.
I would have bought one for
Like,
every guy.
it just was. I got all of our guys really wanted those checkered flannel high vis stuff.
Hmm.
They really wanted those things, so that they all got one of those. And then, much to the point on on the podcast, Cody was like, "What did you get yourself?" I'm like, "Nothing. I have this vest. I kind of like it." She's like, "You didn't get anything?" I'm like, "Nah, no, I didn't get anything. I'm good. I got a pair of goatskin gloves, and I got this vest. And that's the only things I really wanted. My 5X vest."
My guys will come into work in the morning and they'll all be standing in a semicircle and you'll see who's Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 by the fucking style of NDL clothing they're wearing. Like some of them have like the gray and green on, but the shirt is fucking like faded to like a gray brown, and then the new guys are black, and everything's super fresh. The hat's fresh, and like there's and then Josh comes in with his fucking. I got the guy's safety jackets 7 years ago or something like that. Like this, and this thing is like a fucking belly top on him. It was fluorescent green at one time. Now it's like a yellow, dirty yellow. All the fluorescent stuff is like coming off. It's I'm just like, Josh, you need a new fucking coat, man. He's like, oh, this is still good. You look ridiculous. Whatever.
Should have taken them to the force field
I
sale.
know I would have loved to if it wasn't 5 hours away.
Andrew went back to the force field sale and cleaned out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
The gloves were the most ridiculous price of all of it. 3 pairs of gloves for $10. All those like big, thick welders gloves, all that 3 pairs for $10.
That's
Like,
insane.
yeah. They said they're gonna have a sale like that every year.
I'll put it on my calendar. I'd go
The
down
other
for
thing too is like I've only ever talked to the people from Forcefield on the Instagram account. I've never physically spoken to someone. They are some of the nicest people I haven't encountered in a really long time. Every single person I met. I met the owner. I met the marketing people. They're the nicest people. They're such a good company, and they're so nice, such nice people. I was happy that their sale went well. So
And they sent us a bunch of free shit in the past, which is awesome. It's
yeah,
great stuff. I still have their
yeah,
coats floating around in my truck. Love it. I wore one of their coats to Scotland. It was great.
yes,
Yeah.
you did. Yeah, yeah, they were really good. So I'm hoping that this week I can make. Maybe next week I'll make it to Zoom Lion. You know, like
1 week at a time.
1 week at a time, baby.
I talked to a GC today. Here's something. And we were just shooting the shit. And I'm like, hey, I hired one of your guys. He's like, which one? I told him the guy's name. He's like, oh, he's really good. Like he's a really good fucking worker, but he steals. I'm like, what? He goes, he goes, yeah, he stole money from us. I'm like, what do you mean he stole money? He's like, oh, he cashed the same check 8 times. I'm like, what do you mean he cashed the same check 8 times? I don't know. He's like, I don't know. The bank wouldn't give us back our money. He just cashed the same check a bunch of different times. So I'm like,
So
well,
do you do direct deposit?
yeah, we do. I'm like,
So
yeah, I do
that
direct deposit. I'm not worried about
if he
that.
starts asking you for a fucking check, you can say, "Oh, I'm good,
Yeah,
bro."
yeah, yeah.
What
So
GC is paying someone with a fucking check?
I don't know. Back in the day, like I used to get a paycheck every week,
Well, so
like
did
a
I, but
physical paycheck.
I've
yeah,
never
so did
gotten
I.
paychecks.
You've never gotten a
No,
paycheck?
it's always been direct deposit.
Ever?
Yeah. And I started working when I was 15, so that would be 2005.
Holy cow, no. We used to have paper checks,
No, never.
pass them out well, actually they'd go in a little lockbox in the fucking rundown front store, and every Friday you go get your check. Then you'd have
We used to get our checks out of the mailbox.
yeah, and then you'd get your check, and then if you're lucky you'd have a remember that beer Red Cap?
Oh yeah.
See those?
Yeah, yeah,
The Stubbies or whatever? Is that them?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
You guys would sit around and have a Red Cap. So like, we gotta stop drinking these, they're too strong to have at work. Because they were like, I don't know, they were more than a regular beer.
The red caps.
Yeah. They were they were like little grenades or something. Fuck.
I
Uh,
remember one time that when the first company I worked at, they hired a new secretary, and so there was 2 mailboxes. There was a mailbox in the shop, and there was a mailbox out by the road. And it was at a period of time where that company was sort of at the end of its run, and things weren't great there. And the woman took the paychecks and put them in the mailbox by the road, not by the mailbox in the shop. And everyone got home on Friday night and went to the mailbox, and there was no checks there. And it was sort of it predates cell phones. Like this is how long ago this was. So people like there was maybe car phones then, but not handheld phones. And so like you call the boss's house, but he's like out for dinner or he's not there. And then people started freaking, and they were like fucking trashing the shop and throwing axes through the fucking walls. And my buddy fucking kicked in the side of one of the trucks and crushed the door, and it was like a whole fucking shit show. And I just looked around and was like, everyone was fucking spazzing, and I was like, whatever, man, I got to work tomorrow. He'll be here. So I just went home. And
Yeah.
then on the Monday there was a big meeting, and asking people, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And the one my buddy, he's like, why would you kick in the side of my truck when, why would you think I wouldn't pay you? And my buddy was like, because you're a fucking asshole. Like literally said it to him. Like, hey. And that was the same year my buddy, he desperately wanted to lay off. He just wanted to he wasn't coming back. He was done with the company, done with the guy. He was like, I just need to get to my layoff because, if you quit, you don't get EI, right? So he was, but then the guy that owned the company, he knew that all that Loaf wanted was layoff. So he was laying off other people, more senior people. He was making it because it's like freezing cold in December. You know how shitty it is. And he was like, you are going to come into the Larry Bass day or you're going to quit. And so he just made him keep coming to work out of pure spite, even though he hated him because he had kicked in the door, called him an asshole. But he also, like, the guy who owned that company at that last year, he had had a stroke, and he was in recovery, and one half of his body didn't work that well, and he was on a job site. He's the guy who used to rip the hair out of his head and tell you how stupid you were and stuff. He was on a job site, but the last year there, he kind of lost a bit of like the oomph, and he was on a job site, and he was like, Loaf, get me a fucking rake. I'm going to teach you how to rake. So we had some rake we'd run over earlier in the day. So Loaf picked it up and gave him the half a rake. And he's like, this is only half a rake. And Loaf was like, half a rake for half a man. I just remember him saying that like so clearly, like half a rake for half a man. And I was like, oh my God. And then like, they were in like, I don't know that two people hated each other more in my whole life than the two guys. And he kept him right to the fucking end. But I remember being in there and he goes, well, what did you do when you found out that there was no paychecks in the mailbox? I said, I don't know, man. I went home. He's like, well, weren't you worried about it? I said, I don't know, man. Like, Larry, I worked here like fucking 12 years, man, since I was a child. Like, you always paid me every other week. Like, suddenly you're just not going to pay me? And if you weren't going to pay me, I'm sure there was a reason. And whatever was going on here wasn't going to help the situation.
True.
Like, so I just went home. I came in on Saturday. You had my check here. All's good. Like,
Perfect.
what was I going to do about it? Like, it's like, oh, I remember like one time me and Loaf, there was a pond on that property because we used to pump water for the water truck into it. They dug a pond specifically for that purpose. And I remember like me and Loaf were in the yard doing something, and he was like, there was like bundles of T-bars, like full bundles, and he was like, fuck this, and started launching them in the pond with the fucking bobcat. And I was like, remember when they sold that land? I was like, man, this land is fucked. Like just bundles of T-bars everywhere. It was crazy. Yeah. I was a crazy place to work. It was a wild place, but now with direct deposit, I don't think there's as much trashing of people's places when you don't get paid.
Right.
'Cause no one's there. They're all gone.
And no one
Right.
can cash their check 8 times.
No one can guess. Yeah, I would be if someone told me that story. I'd be like, "Why are you still paying people with checks?"
Yeah. I don't know.
Especially if you're a fair size. Is that GC a big GC?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. 20 triaxles running.
Paying everyone with a check.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't tell anyone else how to run their business.
Yeah, no. Everyone's got to find the business they want and run it the way they want.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to bed.
All right,
Great.
How about you guys? Do you guys want to stick it out?
we're good.
No, you're good.
Not
All
paying
right,
me.
that's the end. That's no one's paying us. That's the end. What are
I
we
still have to
doing with
invoice National Heavy Equipment Show.
What do we? Yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of the episode.
Ooh, thank you for watching. Ooh. Yeah, those people run the world. They're so impressive. What a bunch of freaks.